to the Super Speedway.
Welcome to episode 359 of the Super Speedway podcast, recorded Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. I'm your host, Eric Young, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. James, how's it going this week?
Dude, you said it was May, and you caught me off guard for a second. Like, really? It's already May?
You just made me look at it like, did I get that wrong?
I know, yeah, I know. Well, yeah, that's the way I feel most of the most of the time. It's flying by.
Well,
but
it doesn't
yeah, good,
feel
man.
like May outside.
I know. Well, we're dealing with wetness and wind and all sorts of crap.
Yeah, it's been really windy.
I know.
It's all
those break out here.
It's all those wind turbines, James.
Yeah,
they turn those fans off.
You know, they should. Fix all the problems.
Turbines are making the wind.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah. So I was telling James before we started recording. Busy week for me off of NASCAR. So I did manage to watch all the races this weekend, but I didn't have time to pull audio for the intro. But whatever. I'm sure there was probably some pretty good audio from Texas too. Yeah, I did watch live.
I saw you tweeting live, and I went, "Oh, here's my opening."
Yep.
And I think I texted you as soon as I saw.
I knew I saw the like on X, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get a message, and there it was.
Here he is. He's paying attention.
Good stuff. No, I was down south in the state early in the morning. We left the house at 6 o'clock in the morning for a lacrosse tournament, and I made it home, and the broadcast had just started 15 minutes before we got home. And of course the green flag didn't happen until shortly, just before I got home. So, it took me like a half hour of skipping commercials, and I was caught up to live. So in time to watch just in time to make my decision at the end of the second stage to keep Chris Buescher or not when he had the tire go down in my fantasy, and decide to keep him. And then all hell broke loose after that.
Yeah, all hell broke loose all race long, it felt like. But.
God, it was bad fantasy. But not a great weekend for some drivers at Texas either, huh?
No, yeah, it was lots of crashes, lots of attrition. Hitting that bump in turn 4 seemed to be a tricky thing to navigate. Yeah. Denny Hamlin tried to catch on fire.
Yeah.
But overall, geez.
See,
it was a battle out there, wasn't it?
Denny mocked the crowd and then burst into flames. So
yeah, well, I mean, Denny understands karma better than most.
Denny's not a good heel. He just isn't.
No, I know he's trying.
Even if he tries, he just doesn't. It just doesn't work out for him. Karma gets him.
I know every time. Every time. It's I know. And the funny thing is he's doing a lot of like good work to get the fan base kind of rallying behind him a little bit. And every time he makes a little bit of ground, he does something dumb and then ends up on fire. So it's the Denny Hamlin experience. It's like the, what are those memes where you're like, you're at this point of the Denny Hamlin cycle. That's exactly like, Denny Hamlin, he is on fire and crashed. This is where you are. So yeah, that's where he's at right now. And then he'll win this week.
Right. So 11 races into the season, Joey Logano gets his first top 5 of the season.
Oh my God.
And it's the win. Yeah. Tell me that's not a Joey Logano move.
Coming off the disqualification.
Yeah.
Man, I know. He's having a worse season than he had last year. I'm looking at the numbers compared, and
it don't matter now.
Doesn't matter. No, he got the flipping win. So it's he'll probably win 3 or 4 races on the entire year and end up with the championship or something.
Yep.
And
he might not win again until the round of 8 and then lock himself in.
He might not win again until Phoenix.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? Exactly. Oh my God. I told you when we were getting ready to fire up the pod, I said, I'm finally, I've always been like, okay with Joey, you know, I find him like kind of cheesy, right? I think everybody finds him cheesy. That win on Sunday left me feeling, I was so annoyed.
Wow. That's because he beat Larson.
Well, Larson not being able to restart really caught me off guard.
Yeah, what the hell happened to him?
I don't know. He was really struggling on the restart. I don't just know if he couldn't get hooked up or what, but
he leads 90 laps on the day and has the car to beat. Wins the second stage, 4th in the first stage, and then just can't get going.
Just couldn't get going. Yeah, just really weird. This is
he got beat by a car on 2 tires.
Well, and this has happened to him before. I don't remember the race or remember when, but I remember him being in a position very similar to this, I think last season, and he just, for whatever reason, I want to say it was Homestead or something, he just could not get going on the restart. And I don't know if it's just like lane choice or maybe he's just not anticipating the start as well. He's one of the best restarters statistically in the series. He's second to someone I'll mention in a little bit. I was looking at this today. His retention rate's in the like 80%, but he got crushed on those restarts late in at Texas. I think that probably hurt him a little bit.
Well, I know you're going to give him some crap later on, but I'm going to throw some flowers Michael McDowell's way, because what about that restart, man? Again, you're talking one of the best restarters in the sport, and McDowell beat him on 2 tires and just timed it. He timed it perfectly. You couldn't have gone any sooner and not gotten busted for it. But
I don't know.
He did go early.
That was, I thought for sure NASCAR was going to look at that.
I was wondering.
They were coming. So that restart, I'm glad you brought that one up. They were coming to the restart zone, and I was watching the cars come in, and I'm like, man, the whole pack is like moving.
Well, they all close up. The whole thing accordions as they get close to that thing. If you've ever sat over there, it's so entertaining to sit right in the restart zone.
They're all just playing games with each other. But that one though, they seemed like they were going 20 miles an hour faster than they normally do. They were flying into the zone. I wonder if that was McDowell's strategy.
Yeah.
But I thought for sure he was going to get black flagged for that whole situation, but no, he was totally fine.
Like I said, I think if he'd have gone a fraction of a second sooner, he'd have been done. They'd have penalized him. But I think he did it just perfect, to where he got just enough ahead of Larson to beat him. And then, once you have control, once somebody else has control of the restart, or you lose that clean air, that shows you how important that clean air is out front, James. I think that's what hurt Larson more than anything, was that one restart. Because he lost the clean air for it and went backwards and could never recover.
Well, and I think to you as a driver, this happens. This is a William Byron thing too, where he'll be running really good for a stage and a half or the first 2 stages, and he's up front, he's really fast, and they're not really tuning up the car. They're not working on anything to improve, because when you're up front, you don't really feel anything wrong, right? You got clean air, everything's kind of feeling good. I wonder if Larson just kind of, through the timeline of events, was like, this car's pretty good, I don't really need to work on too much, just let it go. And then, you lose that clean air, and all of a sudden, boy, that car must feel evil back in the dirty air, as they say. Yeah.
At this point, it doesn't matter. Larson's got to win at Bristol. He also got more points in this race than anybody else, so
he's top 5ing the field to death right now.
Yeah. So it didn't hurt him any. He just didn't get the trophy is all.
Yeah.
But
let's go back to McDowell for just a second.
Yeah.
That was feast or famine.
Oh, 100%.
Oh my God.
The whole end of the race.
That was so. I tweeted. I thought this was pretty clever. I tweeted out that I think Michael McDowell has now run the 2 worst laps in the history of Texas motor speed, at least in a Cup car, because he wrecked the Aaron's Dream Machine pretty famously.
Yeah.
And then what happened in that lap, where Logano figured him out and was working 1 and 2 like a magician. McDowell blocks Eric, and I don't know
if you want to know why there's a yellow line rule at Daytona and Talladega. There's your reason.
Holy crap! He ran him down to the fence.
I thought they were both going to wreck.
Yeah, me too. I didn't think they were going to get to the corner. However, and then when they got to the corner, my next thought was, "Where's Blaney? He's got to be right there."
Oh yeah, he was licking his chops back there.
Yeah, but he didn't. He just wasn't close enough to make it happen. And then,
and Logano didn't lose enough speed.
No, Logano doesn't care.
Yeah,
he's not going to back off. He's never backing off. That's the one thing you can always say about Joey Logano. You never question that he's going all out.
Yeah, ask Carl Edwards.
Yes. Well, so there's the block, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we get back through turns 3 and 4 somehow we make it through turns 3 and 4, and I'm sitting there going, that was the most egregious block I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then we go through turns 1 and 2, and McDowell just absolutely loses it.
He tried to drive straight through the wall, man.
I don't know where he was going or what the heck happened. He said the Logano took the air off his nose. I don't even know if that was what
That's
happened.
what it looked like. It looked like really when they crossed the wake of those cars, it seems to, I think because of all the arrows under the car,
Yeah.
as soon as you cut that arrow off in the front, it cuts it off in the back and they just immediately lose grip. And they're so on edge in 1 and 2 there that they can't afford it.
Yeah. Well, it caught him off guard or something because he
corrected. I mean, he corrected it pretty well. Too good.
Yeah. Well, he corrected it all the way into the parking lot.
Yeah.
So man, what a hit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and I'm just like, I'm staring at the TV going, I cannot believe that sequence of events. That was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable. All that whole sequence was just wow. And McDowell, here's the other thing about McDowell. He's blocked a handful of times in his career. None of the blocks ever work. I think he might just want to keep it straight.
Well, if you're going to try to block somebody, Joey Logano is probably the last one you want to block.
I wouldn't block Joey. Yeah. And Ross is up there too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be blocking any of those guys.
Yeah. They're not going to lift.
Wow. Yeah, that whole thing, I just was, it's not too often where my jaw's kind of on the floor a little bit, and I'm like, what a sequence that was incredible.
Well, let me ask you then, since this is the point that we're at, we'll jump around a little bit.
That's okay. Yeah, let's bounce.
Your jaw's on the floor at Texas. So have we turned a corner with Texas? Is Texas finally a good track again?
I like that it was hard to drive for the drivers.
I loved it. I thought the race, it was a great race.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I will say, I did notice it was difficult to move up through the field for some of the guys.
Yeah, there were passing issues.
There were some passing issues, but the track was so chaotic that I think it made up for any issues. Now, the race did not do good on Jeff's pole. I think it was at 50% this week, which I disagree. I thought it was much better than that. I thought maybe 70% would be fair for the Jeff Gluck pole. But
I'll tell you what matters is the stands were more full than we've seen them in forever.
Stands were definitely full.
Dale Jr. said they sold more suites than they've sold in a long time.
Yep.
And NASCAR says it got 2.56 million viewers on FS1.
NASCAR's very happy about the ratings this week.
Yeah, well, I mean, I literally got a press release from NASCAR today on the fact that it beat all the other motorsports, including the Miami Grand Prix in the States. So
they had to toot their horn on that one.
I would.
They lost that race last year.
Yeah, I would.
Yep.
They beat them by 1 million viewers.
Yeah, the F1 race lost 1 million viewers, but there was some scheduling stuff with the F1 race that was kind of wonky. So they kind of did that to themselves too, I think.
Yeah.
In some way. But yeah, Texas was grandstands full. I noticed that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, me too.
Definitely noticed that they had a little bit of a party going on.
Yeah.
And also, I think people forget this, but this is the second race in the state of Texas already this year.
Yeah.
We're done now. We're not going back to Texas. But if you don't go to Coda and Austin, you go to Fort Worth here, and this is, I tell you what, man, track's got a lot of crap been given to it over the years, but the way that this car drives on 1.5 miles, it is so dicey.
This is why I want to see Kentucky come back, because we know Chicago's going to be a good race. We don't know what Kentucky would be.
Chicago and Kentucky, Kentucky would be worth a try, and it's a shame that Auto Club's gone. Yeah, that's the other one. That would have been really good.
Yeah, but we can get Auto Club back, because Chicagoland is just an Auto Club that's a 1/2 mile shorter. I mean, really it is.
Yeah.
The track is very similar to what Auto Club is. So you can get the exact same racing at Chicago that we had at Auto Club. It's bumpy, it's rough, it's worn out.
Big sweeping turns through the tri-oval.
Up by the wall. I mean, it's everything that Auto Club was.
And people will typically, they'll say, well, California and Michigan are sister tracks, and that's true in a sense of the shape. Yeah, but Michigan with the higher banking, it's just a much faster place.
Yeah, Chicagoland's closer to, in my opinion, Chicagoland's closer to Auto Club than Michigan is.
And Michigan used to be very wide at one time when the track was really worn out. It was a really wide surface. Michigan's not like that anymore. It is kind of like Texas. It's one groove, and maybe you can get up there like Logano did late in this race and find something. But man, I was thinking about Josh Berry, and he was trying to work lap traffic, leading the race, and hit that bump.
Yep.
Just trying to run a second line, and just there's nothing there,
What are your-
there for you to get a grab on.
What are your thoughts on the bump?
I have no problem with the bump. Now the Xfinity cars handle the bump a lot better than the Cup
That's
cars.
because they actually have travel in their suspension.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, if they weren't running these cars, look at how hard they hit that thing. They're bottoming out over that bump.
Yep.
That's the teams. This is not the track. That's the teams doing that.
Yep.
They could add some height to the car and get over that bump just fine.
Yeah.
But it
you
would
got
hurt
to
them
be
everywhere
fast
else.
too. You got to sacrifice, right?
Yeah. So I'm good with it.
I
Honestly, let's put some potholes and some bumps in some other tracks. Make
Now,
it more interesting.
I'm glad Texas had a good showing, and I thought it was an overall great weekend. But one race a year, man, that's the other argument here.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
One race a year is good.
If COTA was to go away, which we haven't heard any rumblings that's going to happen, but their contract is up this year, would you be in favor of them going to Texas twice?
I would do what you're saying, and I would look at Kentucky or Chicagoland, which also the Chicago street race is up too. So you technically could do both.
Well, Kentucky is an SMI track too, so that gives them an option to go there.
Well, isn't Kentucky an Amazon parking lot or a Ford parking lot or something like
Amazon,
that? Amazon,
it was like that when they raced there too. They just moved all the trailers out for race weekend. Because during the COVID race, they were still there. Right. But any other race weekend, they just move them out. So it's been a parking lot for Amazon for a long time. It's a little rough, but my stepdad just visited there. He drove through there about a week ago, and he said it looks like it could host a race tomorrow. So
that's good news.
Yeah.
No, maybe they will.
Yep. It'd be good. I don't see people clamoring for Kentucky though. It just isn't happening.
Yeah, I don't see people clamoring for more Texas either, though. I think we're good now. It went through a pretty rough. Now I listened to a podcast today that Ryan Blaney was on, and he was bashing Texas still. So I don't know if it's a driver favorite.
Who cares?
Right. Well, that's true. I agree with you there. But Ryan Blaney came away with third place, and he said, "Man, this place is still tough
because it's hard. It should be."
Yeah, I mean, these tracks should be difficult.
They're racing race cars, not slot cars.
Yep. Yeah, I was actually surprised because it's a non NASCAR podcast, but I was actually, it caught me off guard when he did it. It kind of came out of nowhere, like he was making a point to say, "Yeah, Texas still sucks. We got to do some improvements there." I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, Mr. Blaney."
Yeah.
Former champions, they hold weight, so we're all ears here, bud.
Well, this track was the big rumor of getting the super speedway upgrade. I think at this point,
do that.
Dale Jr. says leave it alone, so Dale Jr. speaks. That's what happens, right?
Yeah, usually.
Especially when it comes to SMI. I mean, he's got Marcus Smith's ear.
Dale Jr. can't really talk this week. He was out hobnobbing with the F1 people.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Can't really take any of his word for it at this point. He kind of cheated on us this week.
Of course he did. Well, he's got to make the rounds,
Well, he's got a big Red Bull sponsorship or Red Bull partnership going on with his Max show.
This is
and
his
then
first Formula One race. Like, if you had a chance to go to Formula One, you'd go, right?
Oh, if somebody had, if it was all expenses paid.
Yeah, especially somebody's paying you to go.
Dude, I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford to stand in the parking lot of an
not in Miami for sure.
Jeez,
we might be able, we could probably do COTA, but Miami, no way.
No way.
No way Vegas. That's even worse.
People really love that track, though. I tell you.
Miami?
People like it. Drivers like it.
Yeah.
Fans seem to. Yeah, it's gotten a lot of good pub. It's got an extension. It's gonna be on there for a while. So.
Just goes to show you can build a track in a parking lot.
You can build tracks around football stadiums and parking lots if you want.
Yep. I watched nothing of the Formula One race this weekend, so
there was some interesting stuff, but I wasn't like locked in this week.
I've given up on F1. I've not watched a second of it. The only thing I watched was, I don't know, whatever race I talked about earlier this season that I watched the beginning of. That's it. That was the first one, the Australia race.
Yeah, I feel like F1's been actually pretty enjoyable so far this year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I'm out.
Strong runs from Legacy Motor Club this weekend. Good runs for Eric Jones and John Hunter. Jones gets himself a top 5 finish, first one since 2023 for Jones.
Nice. Yep.
Not too bad. he was kind of a threat there for a little bit.
Yeah,
The right guys wreck each other. He gets that win.
He didn't get the restart he needed.
Yep.
But yeah, he was in the hunt. It was fun to see. I of course had him in my fantasy lineup for a while, and then later in the week I took him out. So was kicking myself about that one.
Yeah.
But it's great to see Eric have a good run. Hoping that they can kind of replicate that again going into Kansas.
Yeah. John Hunter,
43 car run again.
John Hunter finished 8th, so both of them in the top 10. That's a pretty big deal.
They got to be pumped about that.
No kidding.
That doesn't happen for them very often. I mean, it was definitely a mixed bag top 10 because you have Stenhouse and Austin Dillon right there too. Like those guys all bunched together.
Yeah.
Kind of cool to see some of that. Now I know we had a lot of attrition.
Yeah, that's what happens when half the field wrecks.
Yeah, I mean we got, Josh Berry wrecking from the lead. Bubba had issues. Bubba had a really good race going. But yeah, Bubba had issues. Bowman had issues. Denny Hamlin, obviously. So yeah, a lot of your top dogs. Chase Briscoe had issues.
See, Bubba's doing the Martin Truex Jr. thing though, where he's just racking up stage points.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got that saved him because he had a good stage run in stage 2 specifically. Yep. So yeah, he's definitely trying to. The other one who's doing that is well, not so much stage points, but somebody who's finding a way every week is Ross.
Yeah. Ross
is figuring out ways he's kind of workhorsing some finishes here, which has been, I wanted to talk about this. I guess this is my transition.
Yeah.
I was looking at restart retention for the series this year.
Okay.
And Larson has held, I think 80, what I think I said earlier is 80 some percent, 85%. Or something like that. Way ahead. Like Larson's the best of the rest. In the 90s is Ross Chastain, and he's gained 74 total positions on restarts this year.
He restarts in the back all the time.
Well, but I tell you what, I tell you what though, man, when you've got a car that might be less than everybody else, and you're making do with it, I tell you what, I'm getting some more and more respect for that guy. He's been keeping it clean. He's racing really hard.
Oh, give him time.
I haven't seen any
time.
I know.
He's up front now. He's going to get excited. He'll do something.
I know. I can't believe I'm doing this, but he's, this is I would say like everything I'm seeing from him right now is definitely like he has made a change, and I think a good change. I've actually enjoyed. Yeah, I've actually enjoyed seeing him improve a little bit. Yeah. I know I crap on him all the time, but you can't be as hard on him as I have been over the past few years on this dang thing that we do. And then when he actually is doing something, continue to crap on him. Like, you got to give him his due. He's like really having some really good runs.
Yeah.
So I got to give him credit.
Carson Hocevar had a Carson Hocevar day.
Oh my God.
Very typical of what I've seen of Carson, not just in the Cup Series either. No offense to Carson, but it seems to be the way it goes. Gets the pole, first ever pole in his career. Leads at the beginning, finishes, sixth both stages, and then just it all goes to hell.
Yeah, he got caught up in other people's crap though too.
Yeah, he did. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's his fault. It just seems to be every time I've watched him race. There's one race I watched him race at that he won. Otherwise, he ends up in somebody else's stuff or something happens, and I'm talking late models. It's just how it is. Yeah,
but I tell you what, when the Spire team, those cars might not be the best out there, but boy, are they good now.
Dude, they had 2 chances of winning their first race this weekend.
Yeah, like legit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, McDowell could have won this thing, and Hocevar, they have to execute better, I think, throughout the entire day. But, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Like he's putting himself up there. I mean, that's really good to see.
Yeah.
Scored a lot of points. I cannot believe they got back to almost being on the lead lap after the way that car looked.
Right.
That thing was going. That thing had a what was it called? Eric, remember when they remember the old COT when they were what was it?
Sam Hornish, man, the crab.
Yeah,
walk.
the yaw. Remember they had the yaw?
Yep.
He had the reverse yaw going down pit road.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam Hornish is the one I remember. Jeez.
Well, Sam Hornish is the one that NASCAR said, no.
Yeah.
We're done with that. That's what the ARCA cars look like now, just about. I mean, they're all yawed way over because they're the old Cup cars.
Yeah, when I saw Hocevar going down pit road, that's the first thing I thought it was Sam Hornish. I was like, oh yeah, he's going the other direction though.
Yeah,
that's not the way you want to be.
Right.
But yeah, I love seeing. I tell you what though, man, Hocevar,
He tried to flip too.
he did try to flip.
He was almost successful.
Yeah, but he is definitely like he is always making noise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
Always
is.
making noise.
Yep.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
You
but
always know he's on the racetrack.
you know he's there. Yeah, and that's I think that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
When you've got a young driver like that, you want them to kind of be mixing it up. So he's just got to settle it in. He's just, same thing we've been saying about him. He's just got to hone it in a little bit. Hone it in.
Yep. So it's coming. It's coming for him.
Yep.
Anything else with Texas?
I thought Kyle Busch was going to have a really good day again. Then he biffed it. But other than that, no. I mean, it's just a above average day. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty happy with it. I was pretty optimistic going into Texas because last year's race was pretty decent. We kind of had the feeling last year that things were starting to turn around there. And I mean this car has kind of hinted that it was going to improve the racing at Texas, and it certainly has. There were certainly moments. I mean, I forget who it was that was leading, and there was a car trying to track him down, and then a lap car got in front of the leader, and you could see that it was about a car length and a half. They as soon as they got behind somebody, that was the bubble, and you just couldn't get past that bubble unless you got way out of the line and got out of that air. So there's still major issues with this car. And I think it's even more evident at a track like Texas that's more one groove, which I think is part of the issue at Michigan, although Michigan's widening out now. That's why we don't see issues like at Kansas and Vegas and these tracks that have a wide groove because they can just get out of the line. But it's hard to do that at Texas. You hit the bumps and you wreck. So
right.
Overall, I think pretty good race. Pretty excited about next season there. So, and
Me too.
I think you're right. I think the fact that we only go there once, I think certainly helps the track too, because it's unique, and we get one shot at it. There's not enough time to learn it.
Right. Yes.
Riley Herbst, highest finishing rookie, 14th in this one. That was Joey's 37th victory in 590 Cup Series races.
Mm-hmm.
William Byron is your points leader, 13 points over Kyle Larson.
Man, still.
Yes, sir. Still hanging out there.
I know. I feel like Larson's just on a tear lately.
Yeah, does feel that way.
I mean, well, it is. I mean, it doesn't feel that way. It is. He is on a tear.
That's true.
He is on a tear.
There's no feeling there. It's accurate.
Yeah, he is. I tell you what, if momentum's real, he's getting all the momentum he needs for a nice run on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Hopefully, he gets to do them both this year. That would be fun.
fingers crossed, man. He says he's not doing it again for a long time after this one. So
yeah,
let's see. Let's see.
We'll see. I mean, you remember him with the Truck Series at Eldora. He did it until he won it, and then it was over.
Darn right he did. Yeah.
Tore up a lot of right fronts.
Tore up a lot of just trucks, period, man.
Yeah. Ripped the
What was
right
the
side off a lot of trucks.
The second year we went, the second year of that race, when he was just banging it off the wall in 3 and 4. So much fun.
Yeah. That's good. Man, that race is so good. I wish we'd go back there.
I know. Just to recapture that moment. We can talk about it later.
Yeah.
But I sent you some stuff after it was put on NASCAR Classics.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Saturday, the Andes Frozen Custard 300 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Speaking of Kyle Larson, he tried to embarrass him again. James gets the win, filling in for Connor Zilisch. Connor was injured, had a back injury from Talladega. I haven't heard anything about whether, well, he's got a week off now.
I think he's got 2 weeks off.
Yeah, you're right.
This week off, and then it's All-Star week. So
That's right. Good timing for him.
He was in Texas, and I heard him in an interview say, it just made sense. I'm not feeling well, but this gives me a chance to have 3 weeks off and be 100% when I get back. So
yeah, there's no good reason for it. At this point, the way the system's set up and everything, there's absolutely no reason for him to get into that car. But it had to hurt to see his name on the car going to victory lane, right?
A little bit, yeah. But when Kyle Larson's driving your car, does it take the sting off a little bit?
Probably. I mean, you certainly don't feel like this is a guy that's coming for your ride because we know Larson,
Well, yeah, and I guess the other thing I'll push back on that a little bit on, like, okay, you sit out a week, you put the best guy out there, maybe you come back with a little bit more knowledge of something that maybe he can he can identify for you, and maybe that plays out in the long run. You get a little bit better. So I don't know, man. It's got to suck to lose your seat no matter what. But if you're going to put, if the only guy who's going to replace you is that guy, I think I'd be okay with it.
Right. How about Dale Jr., who just a couple weeks after Kyle Larson says he wants to embarrass the whole field, just takes Kyle Larson. Puts him in one of his cars.
Yeah, and then he said, what did he say? He said, I saw a Junior tweet about this. He goes, yeah, I invited him to, teach our guys a thing or two, and now he's teaching us a thing or two in our stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Good stuff. Heck of a run for him.
Yeah, he didn't, I wouldn't say, listen, he won, so I wouldn't say he embarrassed the field, though. I think
he did at the end. I mean, he really, he took it to him at the end.
I think somebody in this race, I think this is the story of this race, though. Somebody's embarrassed.
Yeah.
And,
Chris Wright?
Yeah. I think that's the story from this race.
Here's the thing. I don't think Chris Wright is ever embarrassed because he has done so many things.
He just keeps trotting it out there. Man, oh man, dude. All the crap that Catherine Legg's been getting.
Yeah.
And Chris Wright, he just all right, just keep on going. I think people finally got he finally got noticed this week, though.
You ask anybody in any series he races in, and they're not a fan of him. Just saying.
Yeah.
He's our new Jesse Ouija.
What was it? Quinn Houff?
Yeah.
Quinn Houff was a good one.
Hell, Cody Ware.
Cody. Yeah, Cody Ware. Cody Ware's at least in the Cup Series.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, Cody Ware has improved a lot. He's still got a long way to go, but he's improved a lot.
Kyle Busch apologized to him this week.
Yeah.
For decking him. So it must be doing something right.
Right. Yeah. So
Chris,
obviously we're talking about Justin Allgaier, who had the car. I mean, he was the guy. 99 laps led, won the first stage, second in the second stage, and then just gets completely wrecked by a guy who can't hold his line.
Yeah, and this was not, I think we should probably clarify, this was not Chris Wright's made one mistake throughout the day. He was jumping lines throughout the race.
Yeah. Before
this incident even happened. He would go into the corner, up a lane and come down. He'd be down a lane and come up in front of the leaders, and everybody, it was actually on the broadcaster, like, what? You got to hold his line there. It's like,
yep.
All right, bud, you've been out here for enough starts. You should be able to kind of hold it. You know what I mean? You're not going, that's like you're going that fast either. So.
The only thing you have to do as a lap car is hold your line. That's all you have to do.
Stay out of the way.
You don't even have to do that. Just hold your line. Just stay in one spot so they can know where to go.
There's a reason the Cup drivers will always make sure that they give a kudos to BJ McLeod.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because he has a reputation of, he knows he's out there. He's not fast, but he's never gotten in the way of anybody.
Yep.
He holds his line, stays out of the way, runs his race. That's what Chris Wright is going to do if you're going to be back marker like this. You gotta hold it a little bit better than this.
Yeah. We had 2 cars fail to qualify for this race. We had 40 cars try to qualify for 38 car field. That's good.
It doesn't happen very often, does it?
No, it's good to see. I just noticed that on the sheet. So, nice to see a full field and more than a full field. So, anything else? Taylor Gray, second place finish. So good finish for him. Austin Hill ran really well in this one as well. 57 laps led, won the second stage. Certainly looked like he had a strong car, but again, Kyle Larson did Kyle Larson things.
Well, there's no restrictor plates on it either.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
I got nothing else for this one.
All right. Yeah, I think we had to talk Chris Wright.
Definitely. That's the major talking point of this one.
That was the big takeaway, is everybody was mad. So
this is Kyle Larson's 17th victory in 119 NASCAR Xfinity Series races.
Jeez.
And I mean, his Xfinity career is not very long. Taylor Gray. What's that?
The opportunity. Yeah. Well, he hasn't had the opportunity to make all the starts.
Right.
But every year, man. Every year he runs them.
Taylor Gray was your highest finishing rookie in second. Justin Allgaier's points leader, 51 points over Austin Hill. Looking like it's going to be a battle between those two all regular season. Truck Series was in action for the SpeedyCash.com 250 on Friday night. And Corey Heim finally wins a race that he nominated.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
96 laps led, gets the win. Fifth in stage one, win stage 2. So good run.
Tyler Ankrum gave him a little bit of a run for his money early, but no, nobody else out there for Corey Heim.
Yeah.
He kicked their butts.
Yep. I mean, this is what we kind of expect just about every week out of him, right? He just hasn't. He just had things just not work out for him, but
yeah. No, this is where he needs to be.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, he's too good for the Truck Series. He needs to move up.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the funny thing too. It's like you've got Riley Herbst in the Cup Series, and we kind of understand that agreement, and that's fine.
Right.
But God, there's got to be a part of him that looks over his shoulder in the Toyota camp, and he's like, that Corey Heim, he's back there.
Yep.
Probably coming for my stuff.
Yeah.
The other guy who was in this race, the fastest truck in this race, I would say at some point, was Carson Hocevar.
Yeah.
Which was kind of fun to see. He hadn't been in a truck in a little while, so.
No, and it sounds like he's got a few more starts coming, so good on him.
Yeah. Well, Spire's got the stuff to do it. Why not, man? Why not put him out there from time to time?
Yeah, for sure. Anything else with trucks? We don't need to spend a lot of time on them.
No, I think that was it.
Frankie
Muniz was upset about bad luck.
Yeah.
It's not his fault though.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault this week though.
Never. It hasn't ever. He hasn't had one race.
Will you be nice to Frankie?
I'm just saying what he said.
God.
I am paraphrasing exactly what he said. He said it would be nice to know, if I wrecked somebody or I wrecked myself, that would be fine. But it's always happening to me. So
I saw the quote. Just quit hating on Frankie. Come on.
I mean, you saw the quote. You saw what he said. I don't have to defend myself. You saw what he said. Was I wrong?
No,
did I misspeak?
No, you're right. Just
okay, good. Okay.
Leave Frankie alone. 14th victory in 72 Craftsman Truck Series races for Corey Heim. That's a lot of victories in 72 races.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad. Dawson
seeing
Sutton
him on Sunday soon.
Yeah, Dawson Sutton was the highest finishing rookie in 9th, and Corey Heim's points leader, 46 points over Chandler Smith. There you go. There's your race weekend from Texas Motor Speedway. Well, before we leave Texas Motor Speedway, let's talk about Kevin Harvick, who was inducted into the Texas Motorsports Hall of Fame this week. Not a whole lot to talk about here, but I'm assuming that this is one of many Hall of Fame nods that Kevin Harvick's going to get. I mostly threw it in here, James, just because Harvick's my checkered flag this week.
Oh, nice.
Just in general, but a lot of it stems from his interview with Cletus McFarland after Talladega. Again, I've got a buddy who doesn't watch NASCAR, doesn't care about NASCAR, but he's a big Cletus fan. And his whole consumption of the race weekend was through Cletus's channel, aside from this interview. And he really enjoyed the interview. He respected the fact that the way Harvick acted with him. And I just want to say that, we give Dale Jr. a lot of props as a broadcaster and what he's brought to the table as a broadcaster, but Kevin Harvick has brought a ton as well. And I think as good as Harvick is in the booth, and Harvick is a great balance in the booth to the zaniness that is Clint Boyer. And I think it works. I think that's the only reason Clint Boyer works up there is because Harvick is such an anti-Boyer, but can still joke around with him. But I don't think Harvick gets enough credit for his interview skills because his interviews are really, really, really good.
Well, he is the thing that Harvick is that actually I don't think anybody else is as far as an analyst. Even Dale Jr. can't really tap into it as much. Kevin Harvick is kind of a race car genius.
Yeah.
And he knows what these cars are doing. He is so he ingrained himself so much into the functionality of the car that he can speak on it. And I'm yet to see a driver post-career talk as eloquently about what the cars are doing and what the cars need more than Kevin Harvick.
Well, it really helps that he drove this car.
Exactly.
I mean, that's huge, especially considering how different this car is.
He was in this car a year ago for the All-Star practice.
Yeah.
Driving Kyle Larson's car. So he still has, fresh seat time.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a super valuable experience.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think he's done a great job. I think he's a bright spot at Fox for sure. I mean, there's a lot good about Fox. There's a lot that's rough, but there's a lot good as well. And I definitely want to give them props when it's deserved. And Kevin Harvick is great over there. I hope he sticks around there for a long time. So
yeah, yep.
So good stuff. NASCAR has revealed its top 10 in the All-Star fan vote. Any surprises here, James? I think pretty much kind of as expected.
Those are the guys I would expect to see. I don't see anybody who wouldn't be.
We got AJ Allmendinger, Ty Dillon, Ty Gibbs, Shane Van Gisbergen, Noah Gragson, Carson Hocevar, Eric Jones, Michael McDowell, Ryan Preece, and Bubba Wallace.
Can I tell you who I think the favorite to win the vote is?
Yeah, go for it.
I think it's Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah, I think Shane's going to be pretty high up there.
It's going to be tough to beat.
I think Carson might do well too. And hasn't Bubba been really close to winning them before?
Boy, I think Bubba didn't Bubba win it last year?
He might have.
I'm pretty sure. So yeah, but Shane's got a following that goes beyond these states.
Right. You're right.
And I think that's where he'll get a pull.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm curious to see how it goes.
If I was going to put money on somebody, I would put money on him.
Yeah, I would honestly. I would put money on him to probably win one of the.
Yeah, that's true.
He's gonna be good. He's gonna probably be pretty decent.
That's really true. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
that's
so
something to consider here. Is we may not know who the top vote getter is because they might win their way in.
This is a good crop of drivers for those heats, though.
Yeah.
The opens. I mean, Eric Jones should be really stout. Bubba obviously will be stout. And Noah Gregson's not going to be a joke either. And then you've got probably the best car is Ty Gibbs.
Right.
If Ty's still, I know Ty's been struggling, but he's also been working through it the last couple of weeks.
Turning around there.
Yeah, it's a very slow turnaround, but you're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel for whatever the heck's been going on with that 54 car.
Yeah.
This would be a nice place for them to get some positive momentum going in the right direction. So
yeah, for sure.
We'll see. And then obviously all these guys could probably do it. Like AJ's good on short tracks, but also Ty Dillon would not surprise me either. Like he's been good too. So yeah.
Well, Ryan Preece too. Like
I know. Like it's going to be a tough field. It's really going to be a tough field.
I mean, if we look at
you talk me into any of these guys.
Well, if we look at the Clash, half of these guys ran great at the Clash, and I know it's a different track, but
Ty Dillon at the Clash was leading, I believe.
Right.
So yeah, man. I'm telling you, yeah. And now I was like, oh, this guy looks like he'd probably be the favorite. Wait, no, this guy. So you can talk me into.
I would be more comfortable putting money on the fan vote than I would be on the who finishes ahead of who on this.
Yeah, that's
list.
good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. Looking forward to the All-Star race. Can't wait to go back to North Wilkesboro.
That's really good.
Shall we talk about the big news of the day?
Go for it, buddy.
Homestead, Miami, back as a championship race in 2026. NASCAR with a freaking awesome video with.
This was my checkered flag. So
Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski.
That video. Yeah.
I almost just played the audio from it.
I thought you know what's funny is I thought you might. I
thought about it, but I don't want to get a copyright strike or something.
When Brad jumps and gives the woohoo.
I know. God, it's so funny.
Yeah, it's really good.
Well, and the other thing that I kept thinking, like, so they've got the camera shake and everything in it, but if you would imagine it without that, the stuff that Kyle Busch has done in it, like throwing back in the seat and stuff like that. I mean, there's his facial. I want the raw video of that. I want it so bad.
How did they get those two to do a commercial together? Is my question.
I think at this point,
has it softened?
They've grown up.
Has the rivalry softened?
They've grown up.
I mean, they're both in their 40s now, right? So,
yeah, Kyle just turned 40.
Kyle just turned 40 this week. Had birthday KFB.
Yeah. No, I thought it was great. I loved the whole, what do you want, or what do you want to know if it happened, and do I drive for my own team for Brad? And
did Denny Hamlin win a championship?
Yeah,
and then good. at the end, Joey Logano has 3 championships. We have to stop this.
Yes,
it's like like yes, you do. Please.
Great stuff.
Come save us.
It was so well done. I mean, if all we got from NASCAR's production center and all the work, the money they spent on that was that ad, I'll take it, man.
I tell you what, the NASCAR social team this year has just been, I mean, their stuff top notch this year.
Yeah.
It's eye catching, makes me stop almost every time when they do a special video.
Oh yeah.
They had a transition of the cars in the garage this week, and it just mesmerized me. It was almost like the cars were swapping places with each other, and I don't know how they did it.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen it.
Yeah, and I was watching it, and I'm just like, gosh, dang it, that looks like such a cool video. Like, that's so well done, you guys. Like, shout out to you guys. This is awesome.
Good stuff. So NASCAR does plan to make some capital improvements to the facility. Apparently, they're talking to government and everything there to try and get them to chip in. From everything I've heard, that those talks aren't good.
No, Miami doesn't have money for that. They're
Yeah.
not gonna.
But
They're not gonna.
NASCAR's trying. They said they'll make capital improvements, but the track will not change. The track will remain the track that it is, which it should. It's perfect.
I salute NASCAR though for making the right decision, the right racing decision.
Yeah,
you've got a gem down there for racing. Go to it.
We accuse them of chasing the dollar, and this is an opportunity for them to not chase the dollar.
It's a great PR win for them.
Yep.
Because the fans are going to be all for it.
Yep.
So, and NASCAR, right now, I tell you what, NASCAR needs a few PR wins.
Yeah.
So, I think they understand the value in that, and I think that's just a smart. It's just I'm happy we're gonna get Homestead back. I love the idea of the rotation as well.
Yes.
I don't love that Phoenix is still in there, but
you just took my next line from me. No,
sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
No,
it's all good.
No. But there's lots of love here. Is my point. Lots of love here.
As James already ruined. Nah, you guys have all seen the announcement anyway. We will have a rotation of the championship race. It will include Phoenix. It will include other warm weather tracks. Maybe Texas.
Vegas?
Texas is warm.
I think Vegas is.
Vegas is definitely gonna be on that list.
Vegas is in there.
Honestly, if you have to pick three, it's Vegas, Texas, and Homestead. And certainly could be others in there, but I know those.
I can't believe you've got Texas in there.
Texas won't be on that list. Though.
I cannot believe how far we've come.
I know, right?
From that All-Star race.
We wanted to blow it up.
I know.
Honestly, no, because that All-Star race at Texas wasn't that bad either. We just still hated Texas. Texas was ruined during the missed race.
Mm-hmm.
That was the race that ruined Texas when we didn't race there until Thursday or whatever the hell it was. I know it wasn't that late, but that weekend ruined that track more than anything because the track sucked, and then we had to wait forever for a terrible race.
Yeah.
But
oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. No, this whole thing is good. Glad to see we're rotating. Is that a sign, if we're rotating the championship race, is that a sign that we're not going to switch from a single race championship, James? Or does it not matter because we'd still want to rotate the last race?
I would love for them. Now, I know Junior hinted at this week that the full season championship's not out of discussion. I don't know about that. The full season point standing, I should say.
Yeah.
I would love the championship to be if we're gonna keep things similar to what we're doing now, I kind of would love to see a 3 race to the championship.
Yeah,
I think that is a happy, medium. Although I saw some momentum. This is something that I've kind of had and kind of wanted to see. Is why don't we just go back to 10 races? Let's do it. Just 10 races, race for the championship. If you're going to have a playoff, just make it the 10 race chase and then do it again.
You want to know my opinion?
Go ahead.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care. I prefer our current system. I think the current system is the most exciting system. Does it crown the most deserving champion? No, 100%. It does not. But I think it's the most exciting system. That being said, if NASCAR came tomorrow and made a decision to go with any of those other 3 options you just mentioned, I'd go, okay, cool. I'm good with that. Totally good with that. I'm good with going back to the old system and having it be 100% pure. Totally understand it. Totally on board. I can't argue against it. Yep. I loved the original chase. I think the chase was excellent. I like what we have more because it's more exciting, but that was more fitting of crowning at least a deserving champion for those last 10 races. So I'm good with that. 3 race championship, we don't know. We haven't experienced it, but I'd be down to try that too. So
what do you think of, I wanted to ask you this. What do you think of Dennis on going on his podcast and saying that NASCAR is not listening to the right base? They're appeasing the casual fan way too much and not listening to the diehards who really care and really understand the sport. Do you agree with that?
I don't think I can have an opinion on that as a diehard.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. I think Denny as a driver can't have it. I don't think anybody other than the people in NASCAR's shoes can really answer that question, James, because we don't know what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
I mean, do I feel like do I feel like that fans have that the old time fans have been left out to dry a little bit, and that the decisions have gone more the way of the, I won't say casual fans, but I'll say the new fans. Yes, I do believe that. That being said, that's how you grow a sport.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just do what you've done before. Look, I work in an industry. I work for a newspaper. I work in an industry that has done its best to cling to the past longer than they should have, and now is trying to dig out of a hole that they can't dig out of because they focused on the former versus the future for so long that everybody else came in and stole the future. So if NASCAR just focused on the former fans, on the original fans, then all those other fans would be at Formula One right now. They would be at IndyCar. They would be at somewhere else, something else. Hell, they might be at SRX. SRX might still be alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would have gone somewhere else to get what they're looking for versus NASCAR. And I hate to say it for the longtime fans because I don't want to dismiss them, but they're going away naturally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that.
Like,
too,
you're
yeah.
running out of those fans, so you have to appeal to the new fan. So I don't know. That's a long way of answering that. I just don't know. I certainly sympathize with the people that say that they were left out of the sport, but I think NASCAR grew too big in the 2000s to not have that happen. I mean, I don't think NASCAR could have done anything to change. They grew too fast. What really happened is NASCAR became too popular.
Yeah.
Because all those fans just went on to the next thing. We've talked about this on this podcast before.
Yep.
So, and no matter what NASCAR did, we were going to lose those fans.
Yeah.
So
I think what my just a quick opinion on this. I won't be long winded here.
You won't be like me.
No, well, no, I don't want to. I brought up a random question, so I feel like I don't want to take up too much of your space. But I think NASCAR needs to. Boy, and you, Eric, you know how I hate fixing NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
What do you
think
mean?
NASCAR,
We try to do it every week.
I know we do. I know I hate it. I do think that NASCAR though, oversimplified, everything that they're doing here. They've tried to make it too easy, not only for fans to follow, but if it's easier for fans to understand, which I still don't think it is. I think people are confused all the time on how everything works.
Mm-hmm.
It's also too easy for the wrong person or the wrong teams to be in the championship fight. I think that what we had in the 2010, 11, 12 range, I think was actually a much better system. The points were single digit, right?
Yeah, I really like the per position 1 point difference.
Yeah, I think we had a really nice balance there. That was easy to understand. And then organically, I still go back to 2011, like that championship organically kind of came out of nowhere from the playoff format. It wasn't staged by rounds. It wasn't won by races. It was a true like battle. And if you're going to have a playoff system, you're not going to, and you're not going to have Alan Kulwicki versus Bill Elliott versus Davey Allison every year, but once every couple of years, you're going to have really, really, really special moments. And along the way, you're going to have a lot of moments that are really great. But you're going to have a 2011 that was really special. And I think with what we have now, it's just too simplified. We have all of these moments, but they don't have the same weight. I think that's the problem. But okay.
if you do that, if you go back to that simple, then you don't get the Austin Dillon Richmond moment.
Right. I know. Right.
Except that moment didn't matter because he didn't get to use
it. Didn't matter. I
know.
know.
So,
I know.
But you don't get the Hail Melon, which is illegal too.
Yeah,
no.
You don't get the Hail Melon. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of things.
You don't get the ridiculousness at the end of Martinsville last year.
Yep.
Oh, all that was illegal as well. So,
well, I think too, like we still hold the 2011 championship in very high regard, because it was not manufactured that way. There was this thing that started
the first year of the playoffs.
Oh, that race was incredible.
Do you remember?
That championship race was incredible.
Do you remember the insanity that brewed from the pressure of these guys to have to perform and win to advance?
Yes.
The problem is they've learned how to do it now. They've learned how to game the system. It's almost time to change it just to change it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
have to evolve a little bit. Yep. I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, Kurt Busch losing his tire going into pit road and somehow finding a way. Yeah, that was a special run. The thing was too, like Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus figured it out.
Yeah. Right.
You know, they kind of broke it a little bit. So we had to mix it up in some ways, but
yeah.
And then the final nail in the coffin was Tony Stewart and Carl Edwards completely broke the playoff system because NASCAR was like, oh my God, we have to have that every year.
We need it every year. And
it's like, oh, you're not really getting that every year though. You're getting another version of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, like I said, I agree with everything you said. That being said, let's put it this way.
I agree with everything you said too. So
when we had the old system, the original, well, I can't say the original point system because it wasn't original, but when we had the one that we did in the Winston Cup,
yeah,
that point system, the only time I cared about the championship was if my guy was in the running.
Right.
If my guy wasn't, I didn't care. I didn't pay attention to points. Just watch the race.
Yeah.
I pay attention to the points every, and not just because I do this podcast, but I pay attention to the points every year because you never know what's going to happen.
I am checking the point standings, not every week though, I will say.
Well, I'll take that back though, actually. I don't pay attention to the points. I pay attention to wins and who's in.
I say usually after the Coke 600, then we have to start paying attention to the point standings a little bit. But the problem with the point standings now is you have race winners who start taking up spots and you don't really have to worry about the points. It's like, oh, it's a race win. And I agree with Dale
We're going to
Jr.
have less of that this year though.
Well, Dale Jr. said something that was really good. He's like, you can't let guys off the hook all the time. And when they win these races, you're letting them off the hook for really bad performances, a la Joey Logano, who's had a horrible year, but now he's off the hook. And there's not much pressure on him anymore to do anything. So now you could look at Brad Keselowski and say, well, Brad's having just as horrible. He's probably having the worst year of anybody. There's a lot of pressure there. He's not off the hook, and you would be 100% correct. But again, if he wins that race at some point, he's it's complete 180. He's just working towards the playoffs at that point.
Right.
So anyway, wow, didn't think we'd go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, me neither.
Thanks, Denny.
Yeah,
I'll blame Denny.
Right. Last news item, we don't have it on our list unless anything else broke, but I was just on the X and forgot about this. May 7th, tomorrow, NASCAR Full Speed #2 premieres.
Season 2. Yep. The press release tour is out. Lots of drivers doing shows, and
I've got to say the promo video they put out was pretty good.
Yep. That looked good, and some of the clips I've seen look pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited.
I wish it was in February, but
right.
It's okay.
Yeah. That's the biggest problem is I think it's too late that it's coming out too late, but I get it. It takes time to put the stuff together too.
They rushed it last year. Yeah. It was good last year though.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I would say this too. We also had contract disputes going on.
Yeah.
That delayed the project. So
you're right. That's true. Why couldn't we have some of those meetings in the show? Maybe
technically not Netflix's fault this time.
Yeah.
So
Denny's fault. Blame Denny.
It's well, Denny and the rest of them because they all didn't sign.
It's Denny's fault.
Michael's fault? Blame MJ?
No, all Denny.
Oh, okay.
All Denny.
That's fine. We can blame Denny.
We both given our checkered flags, right? At this point?
We did, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How about black flags? Any black flags for you this week, James? I have a non-NASCAR one, so.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Oh boy. I watched. This is kind of a black flag, but kind of a you should just check this out like I did.
Okay.
The Red Bull soapbox show on
did you
on Max.
By the
really
way,
bad.
I love the Red Bull soapbox races.
It's funny to watch them, but the production, you can tell like Mike Bagley and Dale Jr. are in a studio somewhere completely different.
Yeah.
So the production is like a little bit off, but I'm going to give it a black flag, but I'm bringing it up so that you go check it out. I'll say that you should go check it out. You can tell it's kind of crappy, but it's funny at the same time. So I'll do that as my black flag.
I'll watch clips of that all day long.
I mean, there's some funny crashes, man. Some of those carts that go down those, it's pretty freaking funny.
That's serious stuff though.
See, we grew up in the era of Jackass.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This is right up our alley. So
Yep. So my black flag has a slight NASCAR connection. And it's a motorsports ish thing.
Oh, I'm excited.
My black flag this week is Hayden Deegan.
Oh.
Did you see anything from the Supercross?
No, I
last
haven't seen
weekend?
anything on Hayden Deegan this week.
So Hayden Deegan had to, if he won the race, how was it? He basically had to beat the second place guy in points by 5 positions to win the championship last weekend. Otherwise, the championship would have folded over to this weekend, and he'd have won it this weekend because basically he would have just had to start the race and win the championship this weekend.
Yep.
So last weekend he is coming through the field. The guy who needs to win the race is leading the race, or needs to beat Hayden is leading the race. Hayden comes up in a turn right at the end of the race and just hip checks him. And the best part is, it's Cole Davies. It's his teammate.
Oh.
He punts his teammate off the track. Teammate wrecks. Teammate gets up, finishes 5th. Hayden Deegan wins the championship. He gets on the mic after the race and basically tells fans if they don't like watching him, then they can suck it. Literally says they can suck it. And I'll tell you, like, I get it. He's playing the heel, and he is totally fine playing the heel. He's a Deegan. That's what they do. He's definitely his father's son. It's good for the sport because it's entertaining. But this is not the first time he's taken out his own teammate in a race.
I didn't know any of this, so that's pretty good.
The best part about it is, like I said, he was winning the championship anyway. He just won it a week earlier. It just completely was unnecessary. And I will say the guy he took out was super gracious, basically said after the race that it was his fault, shouldn't put himself in the position, shouldn't have given him the inside. He basically had it coming, he said. But man, that's just,
It's really good.
That's how you hurt relationships
Yep.
with teams. People don't want to work with you when you act like a bonehead like that. So
Yeah. Yep.
I like the Deegans, but Hayden, man, did he get booed? He got booed so bad. It was good stuff. But again, good for the sport because everybody's gonna tune in to hate him next year.
The Deegans, maybe on the decline for the first time in a long time.
He's gonna get so much press though, because next year I'd assume he's moving up to the 450 class. He's moving up to the big class. He's gonna be racing against Jet Lawrence, who is the new coming to Supercross, and he's already building that rivalry. So it'll be entertaining because everybody will want to root against him.
Isn't Deegan known to be fearless as well? Like he's just an absolute wild man on a bike, just like kind of like his dad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's insane. I mean, the kid's talented. The best part was like the beginning of the season, he came out at Anaheim and talked all kinds of crap, like he was basically just wasting his time down here with these guys, and then he wrecked in the main.
That's great.
It was really good. So I kind of like Denny. It's kind of fun to see him get his, get it taken to him.
Come up in every once in a while.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah. But again, great for the sport because it's entertaining, but just you
gotta have heels, man.
Yeah, you do.
You gotta have them.
You do. And Feld knows what they're doing there. I'm sure they're encouraging it. So they could have penalized him. They could have done something and taken the championship away. They withheld the results for about 10 minutes while they were reviewing it, but they ended up giving it to him. So
does he do any freestyle, or
No.
is he strictly racing?
No, he just is freaking fast.
Is it smarter than Travis?
Yeah. Okay, Travis was like Tony Stewart on steroids.
Help himself.
Yeah,
Travis couldn't help himself.
Couldn't focus on anything. ADD to the fullest.
Well, here's the thing with Travis. Built an empire that way.
Yeah. Hey. Yep.
Yep. Might not have won much, but built an empire that way.
100%.
But yeah, the Deegans, man, I tell you, not a lot of people are fans of Haley either. So
yeah,
but I think that has to do with.
Yeah, people hated.
It has nothing to do with her last name, probably.
People hated Brian for years too, and now they love him.
I loved Brian.
Yeah,
Brian was great.
See, I was a Pastrana guy, so I couldn't stand Brian Deegan.
I liked all those guys. I didn't care that they were rivals.
See, I hated them until I realized it was a game. When I realized it was a game,
best.
Then I appreciated it because
I rooted for all those guys. I had no dog in the fight with McGrath versus Carmichael. I liked them both. Travis was my favorite though. I loved watching Travis. There was nobody that caught your eye quite like Travis, and that's like every time I've seen a Deegan clip, Like when the Deegan clips make their way to my feed, he reminds me of that, where he just kind of pops off the screen.
Oh yeah,
because he's so much different than everybody else.
yeah, yeah. He's gonna be really fun to watch in the 450 class.
Yeah, you can see. It's funny, like everybody looks the same sometimes, especially in motorsports. And every once in a while, there's a Kyle Larson that comes around, and you're like, "Oh, okay, I can see the difference now."
Well, Supercross gets that a lot. There's always somebody. There's always somebody at the top.
Yeah, Bubba Stewart. I remember that.
Yep.
He used to pop off the screen too.
Yep. Eli Tomac did it really quietly here
another one
recently, and so yeah, it's interesting. But yeah,
the way I feel about it now is if I know your name, you've done something good,
right? Yeah,
because I kind of watch it from a far distance now.
Yep, I tune in every week.
I know, that's awesome, man.
You want to talk about bad production? You think Fox is bad? Watch a Supercross.
Well, maybe their
production. People. Oh, they're saving big money because they're on Peacock. They have cut a lot of costs. They used to have a bunch of robotic cameras down on the track. Now all their cameras are up high. They use this drone camera that follows them around, which is cool, except you can't see the numbers of the guys that you're following. Yep. And so the newest one they've done it a couple times this season, is the last chance race. They'll go, all right, we have, so in addition to our English coverage, we have our Spanish crew as well. We're going to have them call the start of this race. And then for 3 laps, they have Spanish people call the race.
Like, oh my God.
You don't even know what the hell's happening because they're not. I mean, I'm fine with Spanish broadcast. That's great, but I don't understand it.
Right.
Like, why the hell am I listening to Spanish language during a broadcast?
Yeah, why are you guys doing that?
Yeah, it's not like, hey, cool, check this thing out. You might want to see. No, I don't, because I can't speak the language.
Right.
Oh, my God. Anyway, way off on a tangent. Sorry.
Good stuff, man. No worries.
All right. Anything else? We ready to move on to Kansas?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Kansas Speedway this weekend, NASCAR Cup Series and Craftsman Truck Series in action. The Cup Series has the Advent Health 400 Sunday, 3 p.m. On Fox Sports 1. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Heart of Healthcare 200, Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Night race for the Truck Series. And Xfinity Series is off, and ARCA is also in action this weekend. I get to pick first, James, and I am just going to make it real simple. I'm going to go with a guy toward the top of the list. I'm going to go with a guy who needs to bounce back after last week, and I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin, the heel.
Son of a gun.
Did I pick yours?
Yeah, because I was going to get him off the rebound.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Well, good. I'm glad I took him from. I didn't think you'd pick Hamlin, so.
No, I'm going to go off the board just a little bit.
All right.
He's really been consistent, but he's not racking up wins. There's been a lot of grumbling online that, his crew chief needs to be fired. I want everybody on the team fired. He's better than this, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear it anymore. Go out and win a race, Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
Go win a race.
He was actually, I think he's the best average finish of the last 6 at Kansas. He's a really good pick.
Yeah, he'll be good.
Yeah, what the hell's going on with Chase Elliott?
Dude, it's funny. I don't think there's really any problem. But he's just not winning races, which isn't terribly, different from, a lot of the times he's run. I don't know. I don't feel like he has any problem.
I guess he's 4th in the standings.
Yeah, he's running good. He just hasn't won a race in over a year. But
I mean, he's better in the standings than Blaney.
I know. He's got 6 top 10s, 3 top 5s. Average finish is hovering around 11. Just, he's improved on last year. Yeah. He's never had a season where his average finish has been better than 11 ever. Ever. His entire career. That's 10 full-time seasons he's going on now.
So you take the playoffs away, he doesn't win a championship then, huh?
Take the playoffs away, he doesn't win a championship. That's right.
Interesting.
Take COVID away, maybe.
Yeah.
No. But no, I don't worry too much about Chase Elliott winning a whole bunch of races. I don't think that's the kind of career he might win. He might win 35 or so by the time he's all said and done.
You think Chase has got another championship in him?
I don't think that.
No.
It's going to be hard when you're the 3rd best driver on your team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's kind of like saying, is Chase Briscoe going to win a championship right now? Yeah, probably not right now.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. You got to get by Chris Bell. He's in the same stuff.
Right. No, that's a good point.
I know Chase Elliott's got a better resume. I don't want to, not comparing them apples to apples. I'm just saying, as far as who's a primary on their teams.
Yeah. If I was putting money on somebody on Hendrick, I would I mean, like if I was funding somebody, trying to push somebody,
The-
trying to give somebody the equipment, I'd give Chase the equipment over William.
The what's funny is you look at the statistics like laps led, average finish, and obviously the point standings. Like, yeah, Chase is 4th in points. That's great. He hasn't led hardly any laps. He's led 45 laps on the season.
He's been pretty
Larson
much non-existent in the races.
Yeah, Larson and Byron are almost, well, they're both over 300 now, I think,
Yeah.
on the season. Like, it's just, there's a wide gap between those top two cars, Hendrick and everybody else. It's
I
the
mean,
way
he
it's-
doesn't get
the way it's
mentioned at all in the broadcast.
No, he doesn't. And
Which
he had a
is
great looking
funny.
race car. Yeah, I know. It's really, really weird, but again, like, he's not doing anything like, he's not doing anything wrong. Like, he had a good season last year.
Yeah.
And, he's having a good season this year. This is just who he is, man. Maybe he's more Ryan Newman than, I don't know, Kyle Busch, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe he's more Kurt Busch than Kyle Busch. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the comp. He's got one championship. Kyle, a little bit better. So nothing wrong with Chase.
Right.
But that's just who he is.
There you go.
He does have to qualify better, though. I'll say that. That's
Yeah.
probably the one area. But other than that, yes.
We can skip over Fantasy League if you want. You want to get into that?
We should probably just do it real quick.
Yeah, go for it. It's all
Alright.
you.
Smoking Grill Racing kicked our butts. Hendrick Flair was 2nd. Barron Speedway was 3rd. I was 4th. I cannot believe I was 4th after all my fantasy team had issues all day. So, I don't know, man.
There was a point in this race that I should have been like first way out ahead, and then it just went to hell.
I know. That's what happens. Especially when you have a chaotic race. I will say, so last week, Green Eggs and Hamlin tried to, I think he had the record for the lowest point total ever in a race. Freight Train tied him. So we've got back-to-back 70s on the board.
There you go.
And then I was happy because I'm like, I looked at the results. I'm like, oh, cool. I caught up to Ranger. I caught the points later. Nope. Lost ground on the championship because Smoking Grill Racing took it. He goes to P1. Ranger goes to 2nd. Hendrick Flair 3rd. And there I am sitting in 4th. The first member outside the 2000 club. So I'm to 110 points back. Eric, you are 8th.
So here's my roster.
Oh boy.
Chris Buescher. That went to hell right at the, and I had to choose between keeping Chris Buescher or pulling Christopher Bell off the bench. And I decided, I'm keeping Chris Buescher. He's going to rebound. Yeah, he didn't.
Right.
Alex Bowman, Rex. Yep. Carson Hocevar. Oh, no, Kyle Busch, Rex. Carson Hocevar, Rex. Ty Gibbs. That's all I had left.
Yeah, I had Larson. I've been saving him. So I'm like, I'll use Larson. Larson, Byron, Reddick. I'm like, I should be good there. Reddick struggled. Then I had Bubba Wallace, wrecked. Josh Berry leading, wrecked. Chase Briscoe having a pretty good day, wrecked. So
I want to know who Freight Train had because I didn't think you could do worse than what I did.
I wonder if he didn't play everybody. It would be my guess.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
That has to be what happened. He must have forgotten to.
Well, I know Green Eggs and Hamlin didn't miss anybody last week, and that was just Talladega, man. Talladega gets us all at some point.
Yeah, well, apparently Texas is the new Talladega because
Texas was.
I think more cars wrecked out of this race than Talladega.
I'm a little concerned about how Kansas is going to go this week, but
yeah,
we'll see about that.
Yeah, so far my strategy of picking long shots has worked one week and didn't the other week. So
yeah, you're in the thick of it, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is.
Do I keep playing Josh Berry? Because I kind of wanted to use Josh Berry. That's my next question, but
yeah, I don't know.
Jeez, man. God.
Well, James, where can people find you on social media during the week?
You can get me at James Cush on Twitter or, I was going to say X or Instagram. I keep saying Twitter. I'm trying not to.
There you go.
But that's where you can get me.
You can get me at T Super Speedway on X. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/thesuperspeedway. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. We'll have race coverage hopefully coming up from Michigan here in a few weeks on there, so keep checking that. The podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere else, wherever you found it. Subscribe, listen, new episodes each and every week. We're here rest of the season. Well, I am. I think James is taking a week off, but I'm here the rest of the season as far as I'm aware.
I'm going to Disney World in a couple of weeks, and I'll still be able to do the podcast. So
nice.
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
You might only miss me in for 1 week in August. So
wow, amazing.
I know.
Amazing. If you survive Disney, I mean,
That's the other problem. Yeah, I would say.
My family
yeah.
wants a Disney trip next year, and I
tell you
dreading
what,
it.
why don't you tell them, just do this. Buy yourself some time and say, Kutch is going to Disney World,
Yeah.
and he's going to give me a full status report. So that'll buy you a couple of weeks.
My argument was always, if we're going to go to Disney, we're going to Disneyland, because then it gives me an excuse to go out west. But we have family that's in Florida near Orlando during the wintertime, so that's where we're going to
yeah, we made the brilliant decision to go to Florida in June.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, but you're actually like in shape and stuff, so you'll be okay.
Well, and
how will the kids handle it though?
They're going to be grumpy, but they'll be fine. They're just gonna have to deal with it, man. They're gonna have to toughen up. I don't know what else, like they've been playing soccer, and they, I told them both, like, you guys got to get tougher and I have 2 daughters, so this is dad speak 100%. But I'm like, you guys got to get more tough. Like, you gotta, like, mom's all over there, all worried about, the oldest one getting hurt playing soccer for the first time. And I'm like, you know what? She needs to take a bump.
Yeah.
She needs to take a bump here. And then she took one on Sunday. I was pretty proud of her, but yeah, Disney should be nothing for them. I hope. I don't know, but they're going to be whiny. That's just the way kids are.
I would not be caught dead. Well, I might be caught dead in Florida in June.
Here's the other problem I had, Eric.
Yeah.
I won a portion of this trip.
Okay.
And I had a date that I had to, like, you have to go before this date, or you use it or lose it, basically. Gotcha. So I'm like, well, I ain't messing up my fall schedule, I'll tell you that. So,
I mean, you got to imagine it's going to be less crowded than it would be if you went in the winter.
That's the plan. Might be a little rainier, but
yeah, that's true.
I don't give a crap.
June's better though than when I went to Disney, I didn't go to Disney World. We didn't go to Disney World. We went to Animal Kingdom. But we did it in September, and that was we're awful.
Yeah, we're hitting all of those parks while we're there. We're going to Animal Kingdom, we're going to Disney, we're going to Epcot. We're doing the whole.
So that's why you need to do Disneyland, because then there's only like 3 of them.
And they have this thing called the park hopper.
Yeah.
So I can go from one park to the next without any stops.
So you're doing Disney. You're not doing like Universal, right?
No, I've already done Universal a long time ago. That's when I went to Daytona. I did Universal.
Yeah. See, I would rather go to Universal, but I don't think I could do the crazy roller coasters anymore, though.
I'm not a big roller coaster guy, but I have the little one with me, so I'll make the wife do the roller coasters.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll keep the little one with me.
I used to love Cedar Point, but I don't think I could do it anymore.
Eric, I have an idea for you.
Yeah.
So I know we had the Miami announcement today in NASCAR.
Oh, do you think I need to go to Disney during Miami?
No. Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. You wait 1 year, and GTA 6 will be out, and you can just visit virtual Disney.
There you go.
In GTA 6.
Right? That's a good
So
idea.
you don't even have to leave the couch.
Do you think GTA 6 will actually be out in a year?
That's what they say. May 26th.
That's
what the trailer said. That's what the trailer said today.
Yeah, pretty sure.
New trailer came out today.
Last trailer said 2025, so.
They don't know what they're doing. I mean, they're doing it right, but they don't know what they're doing.
It's 2013, James.
What's the last time? I know.
That was GTA 5.
Eric,
GTA 5 has been out on 3 generations of consoles.
Eric, if you wanted me to get real morbid here, this is the last GTA we're gonna play in our lifetime. This is we're not gonna be alive to see the next one. I hate to break it to you.
That hurts.
I just telling you the truth, man.
That hurts.
Are you gonna want to play GTA when you're 75 years old? Because that's what's gonna happen.
At that time, I'll be running people over on the sidewalk by accident, just in real life.
Yeah, I know.
Beating people with my walker.
There is another rumor that Homestead, a version of Homestead Miami, is in GTA 6. Not actually Homestead Miami, but there's like a racetrack out in the swamp.
That would be cool.
I believe if Matt, like, again, this is all rumors and all this other crap, but listen, GTA 6 is going to probably get me to buy another console. That and NASCAR 25. So,
well, I was hoping that it would come out on PS5, but at the rate it's going, it might be PS6 before it comes out.
It might be, yeah. Who knows, man?
I did see a video.
Might be PS7.
I saw a video today, like early this morning, or I think it was yesterday. I saw it questioning whether the GTA 6 was delayed so it could come out on the Switch too. And then today they released the trailer and it just says PlayStation and Xbox. So
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like,
it ain't coming out on Switch. I hate to break it to you, Switch fans. It ain't coming out.
Switch might get GTA 5, maybe. when everybody's done playing it. So
Yeah, I know.
I can't even play it anymore. I've played it so many times, like it's not even fun anymore.
I know. How many times can you go around the same
There's
place?
no way. All the years that this thing has been being worked on, there's no way it can live up to expectations, right?
Oh, I think it'll exceed it. Honestly,
I hope
think
so.
they're actually the only ones who are going to do it right.
I don't know.
I am going the other direction. I'm not going to agree with you there.
I hope
going to
so.
go the other way.
I hope so. GTA 5 was supposed to be way better than GTA 4.
All the games that come out these days are absolute crap. This one though, I think they're actually going to do it. There's a reason, dude. Rockstar's never let you down. That's what I'll say. They don't let people down.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
going to do that. They're going to.
they did with the GTA trilogy when they brought that out on the Switch and all
I
this.
mean, that's just but that's just
That was a money grab.
dude. Yeah, those are all remasters.
They finally fixed it, but nobody's playing it anymore.
Yeah, I know. I tried it out, but again, we've all played those games for 20 years. So, how much more is there left to explore?
I just fired up Super Mario 64 again. I'm playing through that.
Oh, that's
again.
good stuff.
Yeah,
look at you.
Pull the Switch out, man.
Nice.
I didn't get on the pre-order for the Switch 2, so I'm stuck playing the old Switch.
I would.
Wow, we have gone off the freaking rails
I
here.
do.
If anybody's still here, I'll tell you.
Get us out of here.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, Kansas Motor Speedway, just Kansas Speedway, not Motor Speedway. Kansas Speedway this weekend, Truck Series and Cup Series in action. We'll be back next year. Next year, Jesus.
Just like GTA, we'll be back next year.
Yeah, next year, next week maybe. We'll be back next week to break it all down. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.